Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Pastor Jeannie Sortland, and I am fortunate enough to serve the churches, the United Methodist churches in Kensal and Wimbledon, North Dakota. And this is PJs with PJ, Pajama Talks with Pastor Jeannie. And this is something that I started as a response to the anxiety and fear that could be mounting related to the coronavirus pandemic. I have a daily date, and I plan my schedule around my date with Doug Burgum, that is, our state's governor. Because Governor Burgum tends to present facts and data. And I'm a scientist by my initial training. I am a food scientist with a minor in microbiology. So you can assume that I've been pretty interested in what is going on, even though virology was a tough course for me because our family had a tragedy during that time, and I lost my aunt and cousin, and the rest of the semester was just kind of fuzzy. But I have enough background to kind of understand disease transmission and just what we are dealing with. And so my family has chosen to be pretty careful about social isolation. I'm having a hard time tonight. and even my poor little kids, they went out and ended up playing with the neighbors because I was back working on something, and when I came out and saw them and they came in, I communicated very clearly why that was not allowable. And partly because we have a child that's receiving some medical care in Fargo right now, which we have deemed that the benefit is greater than the risk at this time. And so that increases our family's exposure. And I would not want to share the coronavirus with anyone if we happen to pick it up. And the whole thing with social isolation is you get your family. That's it. You don't get the neighbors. You don't get your other friends. That's been something that's really been tough for our teenagers because one had just been with two friends when we were called to social distance. And he said, well, I was already with them. And I said, well, no, because now if you go be with them today, now they've been with additional people. And that's why it becomes why you just need to stay close to home and to only the people that you are immediately related to. And my folks came home from Arizona. It's been awfully hard to not have seen them. Some mornings we get up and we have coffee on FaceTime. And my kids have been FaceTiming them and even snail mailing some. My dad is trying to teach Tylea how to play cribbage over FaceTime. So that's proving a little interesting. But the cases jumped up fairly significantly today. Our curve is not flattening in North Dakota. And we can assume that we are about 10 days delayed on true numbers from what Governor Burgum said. And he's estimating that if 94 people have it, well, really 1,000 people have it, 10 times what we have. So when I hear reports of Walmart being absolutely packed and people having parties in garages and those types of things, I get frustrated that we're not respecting the social distancing. Salman, could you please leave? Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Yep. And sorry about that. The joys of working at home. But I get frustrated because I feel like we're not putting other people first. I have not seen my mother, partly because my mom tends to get whatever goes around, and she gets it much worse than anybody else. And so I worry about my mom. that she could come in contact with this virus and that she could become gravely ill and even pass. So the reason I am so mean to my children is because I'm trying to protect others in the community. And I think there's a scripture that speaks to this. It's John 15:13. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. And those of you that are watching, I think we should change to lay down one's life for one's friends to lay down one's preferences for the greater good. And so that's something I want us to all think about tonight is what are the things we are doing that could put others at risk? And I know some people, you don't have a choice. You are still being required to go to work. Some businesses that are operating, if they are truly essential, I don't know why, so I would appreciate some explanation maybe from our governor on some of those things to ensure that it's not just a financial reason. And yes, our economy is taking a hard hit, but I think we can lessen the economic impact by getting serious about the social distancing and buttoning down. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts tonight. I don't mean to chastise or shame anyone, but I just think that we do need to be realistic and that this is in our state and it's likely in our communities without us even knowing. And it's time to just hang out at home with the ones that you love dearest. So good night to everybody.